students, welcome back in English class. Today we are going to start our class with a beautiful saying, and the saying is, a single lie is enough to create doubt in every truth. It really doesn't matter that you are speaking the truth. If somebody speaks a single lie about you, and that lie would always be able to create doubt about your truth in everyone's mind. And doubt, that lie is really so powerful. As you remember, we are discussing the chapter, The Open Window, and this chapter has a very interesting character named Vera. And the interesting part about this character, the name that Vera she has, and this Vera is a Latin word, and the meaning of this Vera in Latin language is the truth, and she is just opposite as her name, because this character Vera we have, she is she is a young girl, very self-possessed, observant, very keen and clever, who handily fools all the adults around her. So let's find out how she fooled the character another we have in our story, Frampton Nuttall, and enjoyed the whole situation. Let's find out. Frampton wondered whether Mrs. Stapleton, the lady to whom he was presenting one of the letters of introduction, came into the nice division. "Do you know many of the people round there?" asked the niece, when she judged that they had had sufficient silent communion. So Mr. Frampton was in the house of Mrs. Stapleton. Vera was already there, and she welcomed him. Vera entertains Mr. Frampton, and to start the communication, as Mr. Frampton was not speaking much, Vera asked from him that, "Do you know many people around here?" Then Mr. Frampton said that he was new to the place and he knows hardly a soul there. "My sister was staying here some 4 years ago, and she gave me letters of introduction to some of the people here." He made the last statement in a tone of distinct regret. So Mr. Frampton told Vera that he was new to the place and he don't know anyone here. He was here at the house of Mr. Stapleton just because of his sister gave him the letter of introduction, and as well as few addresses also recommended by his sister. So that is why he came to meet Mr. Stapleton. "Then you know practically nothing about my aunt," pursued the self-possessed young lady. So here Vera again asked Mr. Frampton that, "Maybe you know my aunt." Here she was just trying to confirm that whether Mr. Frampton Nuttall knew his aunt or not, because inside her mind a witty story was already cooking up. She was trying to grab that golden opportunity, and she was in the mood to fool Mr. Frampton Nuttall. So that is why she confirmed this thing twice from Mr. Frampton Nuttall, that he was new to the place or he knew anyone there in the village. Mr. Frampton said, "Only her name and address," admitted the caller. He was wondering whether Mrs. Stapleton was in the married or widowed state. An undefinable something about the room seemed to suggest masculine habitation. Masculine habitation means suggests that the room belonged to a man. So when Miss Vera asked from Mr. Frampton Nuttall that he knew to Mrs. Stapleton, then Mr. Frampton confirmed to Vera that he was new to the place, only he was known to the address and name of Mrs. Stapleton, and that was given by her sister. And when Mr. Frampton observed that room, it was like masculine habitation, means that the room belonged to a man. He observed the whole area, the place, and as well as he observed the open window. It was a French open window. It was not usual Indian houses window, small one. It was a big window, a wall made by a glass, and the whole door-like window was remained open. Her great tragedy happened just 3 years ago, said the child. That would be since your sister's time. Her tragedy? Asked Frampton. Somehow in this restful country, spot tragedy seemed out of place. So Vera told to Mr. Frampton Nuttall that something bad happened, something tragical happened with my aunt, Mrs. Stapleton's, and all this incident happened just 3 years ago. And Mr. Frampton was surprised to hear all this from Vera because he said that this town is really a peaceful area and it seems next to impossible that something tragical would happen here. So you may wonder why we keep that window wide open on an October afternoon, said the niece, indicating a large French window that opened onto a lawn. It is quite warm for the time of the year, said Frampton. But has that window got anything to do with the tragedy? So Vera indicated that window, it was open, it was a big French window and it was totally opened, and Vera by indicated to that window said to Mr. Frampton Nuttall that you might be thinking or you might be wondering that why we have kept this window open in this October afternoon. Maybe you are thinking about this. Mr. Frampton said, it's October time and it's not that much cold, so we can remain this window open. So it's not seeming odd. But has that window got anything to do with the tragedy? Is this window is really related to that tragedy? Or is this window is the reason? Out through that window, 3 years ago to a day, her husband and her two young brothers went off for their day's shooting. They never came back. In crossing the moor to their favorite shooting ground, they were all three engulfed in a treacherous piece of bog. It had been that dreadful wet summer, and places that were safe in other years gave way suddenly without warning. Their bodies were never recovered. That was the dreadful part of it. Here, the child's voice lost its self possessed note and became falteringly human. Poor aunt always thinks that they will come back someday. They and the little brown spaniel that was lost with them and walk in at that window just as they used to do. That is why the window is kept open every evening till it is quite dusk. Poor dear aunt. She has often told me how they went out, her husband with his white waterproof coat over his arm, and Ronnie, her youngest brother, singing Bertie, why do you bound? As he always did to tease her, because she said it got on her nerves. Do you know, sometimes on still quiet evenings like this, I almost get a creepy feeling that they will all walk in through that window. Mrs. Stapleton's niece, Vera, gaily tried to capture that moment, to grab that opportunity. She made the plan and described the whole scene to Mr. Frampton Nuttall that this window is related to that horrible tragedy. Mr. Frampton was surprised at what kind of tragedy happened with Mrs. Stapleton. Vera described the whole tragedy to Mr. Frampton Nuttall. She said, out through that window 3 years ago to a day, her husband, Mrs. Stapleton's husband, and her two younger brothers, they went off that day for shooting. And now, till now, 3 years has already passed to that moment. So they all three went for the shooting, for the hunting. and they never came back from that shooting, and even their bodies were not able to recover, because in the crossing to the moon, their favorite shooting ground, they all were three were engulfed in a treacherous piece of bog. So the meaning of treacherous here is dangerous or hazardous, because just because of that place all this thing happened. So that is why that piece of bog is called here in the story treacherous. Treacherous means very dangerous, very hazardous. And the meaning of piece of bog, or the meaning of bog is, we can say, so bog is defined as a soft wet ground, and in this story the bog is called as treacherous because it is where Mrs. Stapleton's husband and brothers were missing and can never be found, as it has engulfed them. They all sank inside that piece of bog. That is why it is called the treacherous piece of bog. So it was that dreadful wet summer. So the meaning of dreadful is causing or involving great suffering. So outrageous, shocking, terrible places, frightful places, horrible places, we can say. So it was that horrible summer, it was that frightful summer, and the places that were safe in other years gave way suddenly without warning. So here Veda is clarifying that the places that used to be safe throughout the year, during the summer season, they just converted into the most dreadful, most dangerous places, especially in the jungle, in the forest area. So their bodies, they all were engulfed in that piece of bog, in that muddy area. That is why their bodies were not able to recover, and that was that dreadful part, that was that horrible part of it. Here, the child's voice lost its self-possessed. So the whole scene, while describing, Vera's voice was self-possessed. She was overconfident. She was very confidently describing the whole scene, but while just completing her whole story, at the end, she converted the tone, she changed her tone from a self possessed note to she became falteringly humane. Falteringly humane means to be unsteady in purpose or action, as from the loss of courage or the confidence. Just like she showed up the thing that she was also so sad at the loss of Mrs. Stapleton's. Later, to make the whole scene more realistic, she described the situation to Mr. Frampton Nuttall that poor Anne always thinks that they will come back someday. Now she was trying to convert the whole situation into a spooky situation, into a horrible situation, because her whole cooked up story she has already described to Mr. Frampton Nuttall, but now she was trying to make fool to Mr. Frampton by changing the situation into a spooky situation, into a horrible situation. She said to him that poor aunt always thinks that they will come back someday. They and the little brown spaniel that was lost with them. Spaniel was the dog that also went that day with them and walked in that at that window just as they used to do. That is why the window is kept open every evening till it is quite dusk. So she said to Mr. Frampton in a very spooky way, in a very eerie or in a very ghostly way. She was trying to horrify Mr. Frampton. So Vera actually scared Mr. Frampton Nuttall. She was so intelligent, she was so self obsessed, she was so confident that immediately, when she comes to know that Mr. Frampton Nuttall was new to the town and he was not aware about any people, and she immediately made up that story, and she explained that story in a very, very impressive way, and at the end she molded the story to the spooky end, and she scared Mr. Frampton Nuttall. And as you can imagine, guys, very well, Mr. Frampton Nuttall, who was already suffering from this disease bad now, he used to behave so confusingly in every situation. And when he heard the whole story, when Mr. Frampton Nuttall heard the whole story that Mr. Stapleton's husband and her brothers, they all went one day 3 years back for hunting and they never came back. Even their bodies were not able to recover. He was so confused, he was so afraid, he was so scared. Even Vera, to make her whole story more realistic, she added few fine details of about the whole incident, and even she added this point as well while describing the story, that how she aware about the whole incident. She added this thing that my aunt Mrs. Stapleton's, she usually always describing the whole scene to her, and because she is really in awe of these three persons, and she every day she is waiting for these three persons, and every day while waiting she is describing the whole story. It was her usual task to describe the whole story to Miss Vera. She described to Mr. Frampton Nuttall that how Mrs. Stapleton's telling her every day that how they went, her husband with his white waterproof coat over his arm, and Ronnie, her younger brother, always singing that song, Bertie, why do you bound? Whenever Mrs. Stapleton listening that song through her brother, Bertie, why do you bound? She really felt irritated and she always got on her nerves. That is why she really did not like that song. Do you know, sometimes on still quiet evening like this, I almost get a creepy feeling that they will all walk in through that window. And she ended up her story on this another spooky note, that every day at the evening time I am also getting this creepy, this eerie, this scary feeling that they will walk in through that window, because this is Mrs. Appleton's assumption that one day they will surely come back. Now we have, students, in our story next scene, and the changes we have in our next scene. Mrs. Stapleton comes down at last and inadvertently confirms her niece's story. So Mrs. Stapleton, she was upstairs earlier. Now she has come down and inadvertently means by accidentally, by chance, she confirmed the whole story, whatever, because it was coincidentally, whatever Vera has explained just now to Mr. Frampton Nuttall, Mr. Stapleton, she confirmed everything that this and this thing really happened. But Mrs. Stapleton was not aware about Vera's made up, cooked up story. Frampton tries to acquaint his host with the nature of his ailment. Now it was Frampton Nuttall's turn. Frampton Nuttall described everything about him, that why he has come here to their house, and about especially about his ailment, that he was suffering from bad nerves, and bad nerves means it's a kind of ailment, it is a kind of disease, and it is based on the situational. It is due to the depression, due to the grief. This term bad nerves often suggests several different emotional, personal, social problems that have been active for many years. So if you are continuously stressed about due to family reason, due to official reason, due to any somehow, due to any particular reason, if you are continuously giving stress to your mind, so you can be, this disease can attack on you, bad nerves. So Mr. Frampton, he was suffering from this bad nerve disease, and he told this thing to Mrs. Stapleton as well. Through the open window, he can see things that worsen his nerves. So now Mr. Frampton was confused, was about to go in shock, because he was continuously looking at that window, and a scary, spooky feeling was overpowering him. She broke off with a little shudder. It was a relief to Frampton when the aunt bustled into the room with a whirl of apologies for being late in making her appearance. I hope Vera has been amusing you, she said. She has been very interesting, said Frampton. I hope you don't mind the open window, said Mrs. Stapleton briskly. My husband and brothers will be home directly from shooting, and they always come in this way. They have been out for snipe in the marshes today, so they will make a fine mess over my poor carpets. So like you menfolk, isn't it? She rattled on cheerfully about the shooting and the scarcity of birds and the prospects for duck in the winter. Vera explained everything to Mr. Frampton Nuttall. She scared him enough, and he was already having bad nerves, and now he was totally confused, out of mind, not able to think properly. And Vera ended up her story and she broke off with a little shudder. Broke off means she kept silent, she stopped talking with a little shudder. Shudder means trembling convulsively. She was trembling with a fear, and it was all her drama. She was not exactly trembling, she was not exactly shivering. She was just frightening Mr. Frampton Ettle. It was a relief to Frampton when the aunt bustled into the room. Bustle means move inside the room in an energetic or busy manner. You are moving somewhere in a very busy way, in a very busy manner. So she came inside the house and she joined these two people in a very busy manner, and a whirl of apologies for being late in making her appearance. Whirl of apologies means she spoke a lot of apologies at that moment to Mr. Frampton Nutter. She gave a lot of excuses. Oh my God, oh sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm late, and so and so. So she gave all those apologies just for her late appearance. I hope Vera has been amusing you. And when she saw that Mr. Frampton Nuttall and Vera, they all were talking already, and she barged in during their conversation. So she asked from Mr. Frampton, maybe Vera is already has been amusing you. So she has been very interesting, said Frampton. Frampton told her that she is really a nice girl, and her way of speaking, her conversation is really, really very interesting. I hope you don't mind the open window, said Mrs. Stapleton briskly. So briskly means in an active, quick or energetic way. So she asked this thing from Mr. Frampton Nuttall, that I hope you have noticed this thing, that the window is the whole big window, whole glass wall is just open. So I don't think so I don't think so you have any problem with this. I hope you don't mind that I kept this window open, but the reason behind this, I think so, my husband and brothers will be home directly from shooting. So they have gone outside for the shooting, and they will come inside the house through this window. It is their habit to do so. Mrs. Stapleton told the reason of that open window. She told Mr. Frampton Nuttall that I kept this window open just because my husband and brothers, they have gone out for shooting, and they will come directly through this window. That is why I have kept this window open. And they have been out for snipe in the marshes today. Snipe means for shooting. They have gone for the shooting. Marshes today means in the jungle, in that marshy area today, and they will come they will make a fine mess over my poor carpets. So like you men folk, isn't it? So here she was describing that you men are all same, and when they will come inside the house, their boots, their clothes, all would be covered with a cake of mud. All would be covered with mud, and when they will come inside the house, they're going to mess up with my poor carpet. But I am just totally helpless. What can I do in this thing? They will come inside through this window. So I kept this window open. I don't think so you have any problem with this. She rattled on cheerfully about the shooting and the scarcity of the birds and the prospects for duck in the winter. So rattled on meaning is here to talk for a long time about things that are not interesting or not important. So she, Mrs. Stapleton, she rattled on, she continuously talked about cheerfully, very happily about the shooting, about the scarcity of the birds and the prospects for duck in the winter. So when she described the situation and the reason why she kept that window open, that her husband and brother, they went out for the shooting, and then she started over the same topic, talking about the window opened, about the shooting, about the scarcity of the birds and the prospect for duck in the winter. So here, when she described the scene and the reason behind the open window, here she inadvertently means by chance, accidentally, or we can say not intentionally, she confirmed Vera's whole story. And when she confirmed Vera's whole story, then Mr. Frampton Nuttall, you can imagine his situation, his feeling that he was totally scared. He was on his nerves and he was trying. He was so inferior, he was so scared, he was so frightened about the situation that Vera was absolutely right about the scene. And Mrs. Stapleton is really insane, she's really crazy. And the reason he was thinking that they all passed away 3 years back and why she is still expecting their visit. So here on this note, we are going to end up our today's discussion. So we will meet in our next session, next video. Till then, students, take care of yourself. Read this chapter twice or thrice so that you can make your own interpretation of the story. Take care of yourself. Thank you.